Hey, this is Joshua with New Review coming at you with a new review for the Shannara Chronicles. The Shannara Chronicles picks up a year after the end of the last season. Um, Alanon is hunting Bandon, and it isn't going very well for him. Will joined the Storlocks, the gnome healers, and Eritrea seems to be doing pretty good in post-apocalyptic San Francisco and has found uh, someone she really cares for, which is good. Um, However, as the season goes on, we start to learn more and more about the backstories of certain about the backstory of Eritrea. Turns out that her family is prone to being used by the forces of darkness for nefarious purposes, and Eritrea was sent to Cogline, who's leading the San Francisco commune, for lack of a better term, um, and is keeping secrets from her, which she doesn't particularly like. Um, and it ultimately leads to her leaving, which kind of helps, which is kind of helped along by a vision of Amberly, who's now the El Crease. Um, uh, Will is not really taking Amberly's death, for lack of a better term, very well. He's using the Elfstones to see her because I get it, he's hurting. He doesn't really understand why. He didn't get really a chance to get a chance to say goodbye. Um, and so he just has to deal with that. And it doesn't help that he is a wanted man because he can use magic. And there's an elf organization known as the Crimson who are trying to kill all magic users. Um, so yeah, that's not helpful. Um, and Alanon's hunt for Bandon leads him to find out that he's trying to revive the Warlock Lord, and he's getting closer and closer, and um, he's found two of the three parts that he needs, the heart and the sword, by the beginning of the first episode. On top of that, he's also resurrected or recreated uh, so, like shadow wraith creatures to hunt for things that he needs, primarily Will. Um, and it's stakes kind of keep on getting higher and higher because there are two forces at work. Um, and Ander is trying to keep things together, trying to put the Crimson down. And he's not really having much luck because a lot of his soldiers actually were the first members of the Crimson, so there are a lot of well-trained men already gone, and there are some spies on the inside of his forces who are helping the Crimson. And the rise of the Crimson is completely understandable. What happened last season was in part because of magic. Thing is, they didn't understand the importance behind. They don't seem to understand the importance behind magic, and that's really caused a lot of the problems. Um, so with um, Bandon trying to revive the Warlock Lord, he's also trying to get the Codex of Paranor, and Alanon, Will, and a character who's introduced helping Will avoid bounty hunters, who is Lyria. No, Marith. Marith. Lyria is a different character. Lyria, Marith, who turns out to be Alanon's daughter, are trying to find ways to defeat the Warlock Lord because they may end up having to do that. Now, Lyria is an important character because she's uh, uh, Eritrea's new significant other. Turns out she's the daughter of the Queen of Lee and this princess. Um, and she's been known to run away from home for various reasons, and with men and women. So same-sex relationships seem to be pretty cool, although that was hinted at in the last season. Um, and like I said, as things are going, different characters are introduced. Another character is a bounty hunter named Garrett Jax, who helps introduce us to the Queen of Lee, um, whose name is Tamlin. Tamlin, yeah. Uh, and the and another important character that we meet is General Riga. Riga is the leader of the Crimson, and he started the Crimson because his wife and unborn child were killed by the demons. Um, and he's collecting magical artifacts. He wants the elf stones for his personal collection. He also eventually, and his first major capture that we see, I mean, he's captured and killed a lot of magic users, is Alanon, and he's trying to find ways to get the Codex of Paranor as well. And that's ultimately how uh, how how the Warlock Lord gets the Codex, but that's a different thing. Um, so there's a lot of captured by the Crimson, escape from the Crimson, capture. There's a lot of capturing and escaping, um, and there's a lot of characters being not what they seem to be. Of course, Alanon is always keeping 3 secrets for every one he reveals. Um, uh, for Eritrea, she gets possessed by a shadow wraith thing and ends up killing all of the chosen. Um, ends up being, to be honest, a minor-ish plot point. Uh, and Crimson is destroyed, which is a good thing. Um, but the Warlock Lord is brought back, and he looks like Alanon. And his ultimate goal is to corrupt the life source and make everything in the Four Lands a dark creature under his will. He nearly gets that done, um, but the Sword of Shannara, which earlier had been destroyed but then was reforged with a little journey that Will had to go through um, to kind of get over uh, uh, losing Amberley, which I think was a very nice diversion from ultimately destroying the Warlock Lord by stabbing him and showing him his fear of dying, which he technically didn't do the first time. Um, and then we think Will is dead, and Alanon does die, but the mantle of Druid goes over to Marith. His daughter becomes the new Druid. Um, and Cogline kind of comes in to help complete her training and help her on her journey because he was a druid himself. He left the order though. Um, so there are technically 2 druids left. Um, and Eritrea's going to journey with them instead of being separated like last time. Uh, Garrett Jax works for Lyria now as her commander of the guard. Um, and his journey when we first met him was he didn't believe in anything, and that's because he was part of this unit called the Border Legion that was ultimately destroyed by the demons. And he's just trying to deal with the fact that he believed in something, he trusted his men, and his men trusted him, but ultimately he betrayed that trust, he feels. And by helping save the world from the Warlock Lord, he's kind of regained his faith in himself. and believing in something. Um, the ending of the season was a cliffhanger, um, and I'm not certain if it will be renewed. I hope it will be because I like finding out how cliffhangers end. Uh, so yeah, this is Joshua with the review signing off.